Hi, okay, so today I'm going to show you a pretty basic skill of SPSS that you would need for pretty much any SPSS file you start, and that's just inputting your data and giving it a name and walking through that process. I'm also going to show you how to use something like gender or personality type, something that you want a nominal, more split kind of data. So if you're wanting to make a graph that has girls' data versus boys' data overlaid, you'll have to do this kind of split thing that I'm going to show you how to do. So for inputting your data, basically you're just going to input whatever you're given. I'm using test scores as my X value per se. So if you have an X value that continues into two columns, say that it's a longer data set, but they're all X values. You want to input all of those X values into the same exact column. Don't separate it how it was given to you, just keep it all in one column. And then frequency of scores, you may not have frequency of scores, whatever other value you have, go ahead and input that into the next column. And then for working with gender or personality type, you have to basically assign any number to girls and then any number to boys, or any number to introverts and any number to extroverts. So I chose 1 and 2. So basically say that this set of data is my girls' data. So I put in 1s for every single box here, and that is just going to help me label it girls. And then my boys' data is below that in the same columns, and I labeled those with 2s. So that's going to help to differentiate. So once you have all of your things inputted like that, you want to go over to variable view, and you can see I've already named my things, but basically you would name your X value whatever you wanted it to be named. If you don't have test scores and it's maybe speeds somebody ran, you would put underscores in for any spaces that you put in that name, and then that's it. You just input whatever you want to name it. Decimals, typically it'll come up and give you 2 decimals. I had already changed mine to 0. You can leave it as 2 if you want, but I prefer and would recommend just changing it to 0. It just makes it look a little bit cleaner. You have a couple less numbers to worry about. And then with label, here you can name it something more specific if you want. You can use spaces. If you feel like you're going to have a hard time keeping track of whatever you named it and you want to give it something more specific, you can do that here. And then for values and missing columns and a line, for these first 2 sets of data, you don't need to do anything with that. You can just leave it just how it is. However, when you get to measure, you want to change it and make sure that you click on scale with a little roller beside it for both of those. Okay? And then when you get to your more split category, your nominal variable, personality type, gender, etc., you type in whatever you're going to name it here, just as you had before. Change the decimals to 0. You can name it something more specific again if you want, but you don't have to. And then when you do values, this is where you're going to name it and assign those. So you click on this box. You can see that I already added them, but I'll walk you through it. So I chose 1 to be the girl's value. So you would just type in whatever the value you chose and then whatever the label is. Girls, extrovert, introvert, boys, whatever. And then click add, and it'll put it in this little box like it did for me. And then you would do the same thing for boys. So type in 2 or whatever number you used, type in boys, and then click add. So click add, and it'll bring it up here. And then that is that. You would click OK. And then it's really important that under measure you change it to nominal. That's just saying that you are giving that number a name rather than using it as its actual numerical value. And then you just go back to data view, and you can see that the 1s and the 2s are still here. You just want to click this 1 arrow to A, and it'll change it over to letters. So then you have girls, boys, and you are ready to run whatever type of test you want. So I hope that was helpful, and we'll see you next time.